Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the New Testament Survey course, BI1010. My name is Dr. David Mathis, and it'll be my privilege to be your professor for the next 5 weeks. The course has just a number of workshops where we will be surveying the New Testament. I really hope that you'll pursue this course as an act of devotion to the Lord. You know, I remember when I took my very first New Testament survey course many, many years ago. I was working as a young man. I was working as an engineering analyst in aerospace, doing a lot of military space applications, B-52 and F-18, F-15, 16 kinds of stuff. And I took a New Testament survey course. And I had absolutely no idea that Matthew was not the first book written in the New Testament. I thought because Matthew was the first book in the New Testament, it must have been written first. I had absolutely no idea that Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John were writing to a particular Christian audience. I had no idea. I had no idea that the book of Acts has both descriptive literature and prescriptive literature. Didn't know that at all. I had absolutely no idea that the book of Acts contained historical backdrop to most of the Pauline epistles. I didn't know that at all. No, had no idea. I had absolutely zero idea what the book of Revelation was. This course is going to be touching on all those things, and I hope that you'll read and answer the questions as an act of devotion to the Lord. I think you'll enjoy the course a lot more. And let me say that having worked in the engineering world for 6 years in Phoenix, Arizona, some of the Bible courses I took while I was working as an analyst helped me to be the kind of man that I needed to be. It helped me create strong ethical and moral values that sustained me in a pretty intense political environment within my company. Now, I worked 1980 to 86, so now you kind of can figure out my age. And God called me into vocational ministry with a capital M. We're all called to local church ministry with a little m. We all have spiritual gifts we're called to use. But God put his hand on me and called me to vocational ministry. So in 1986, my beloved wife, Karen, and I, in our first year of marriage, we left our respective careers. I went off to seminary for 3 years. Then I pastored for a couple years as a lead pastor. And then I ended up at Dallas Seminary to do my PhD. I also pastored throughout my PhD studies. And then after my PhD work, our church was redefining itself there in Dallas. And I took a large family life pastorate in Phoenix, Arizona, a church of about 2,000. I was a staff pastor. And I started teaching in a small Bible college. As a matter of fact, it was the very Bible college that I took my first New Testament survey course. And in God's greatness, he allowed me to eventually become the chair of that Bible department. And I'm sure had you asked my professors back then in 1980, when I was a brand new convert to Christianity, if I would ever get beyond the basic facts of the New Testament, I think they probably would have said probably not. So I hope you'll pursue this course with vigor. Let me make 2 suggestions. One, stay on time, stay on task. Don't submit late work. It really will hurt the class. We don't have that many class members. And please ask hard questions. I'm not afraid of hard questions. God's not afraid of hard questions. And then secondly, when you post your forum work, don't view that simply as a blog. You know, sometimes we think, well, I just have to get my opinion out there. Really, your opinion or my opinion doesn't matter so much. What matters is what God says. So we really want to work very carefully with the text. You might even want to compose your forum questions offline and then paste them in. And keep a copy. That's another thing. Keep a copy of your work. What am I doing? Right now, I'm teaching adjunct for several institutions. I do a lot of doctoral modules, a lot of writing. I'll even eventually give you some links if you want to read some recent articles that I've written. That would be just absolutely wonderful. The New Testament. Okay, this is just an overview of the New Testament. It will unlock for you some historical, cultural, geographical, and certainly the way the books are put together will help you grow in Christ. So I hope you enjoy the course. Sorry for this long introduction, but I thought you'd want to take a look at the guy that's going to be the professor. I'm here in my home. This is my home office, and my wife and I are blessed to be living here in the Pennsylvania area. So God bless you, and I hope you really enjoy the course. And email me anytime. Please email me.